Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arthritis Help Movement Improvement session where you learn to move differently so you can feel better. I'm Dr. David Sofer, physical therapist, and today we're going to be working on a session that will help you improve the mobility of your entire spine from your head and neck all the way down through your mid-back, down to your tail, and even into your hips. And in addition to that, we're going to do a little bit of strengthening work for the butt muscles and maybe a little even balance work for the core. So this one covers a lot of bases, and you know how I love efficient exercises that do a lot of things at once. This session is going to be done predominantly on hands and knees, so it may not be for everyone. If you have trouble on your knees, please put a couple of pillows. If you have trouble with your wrists, I'll show you a few ways to manage that when you're on hands and knees. And if this position just doesn't work for you, this might not be the session for you, and it might be worth trying one of my other spine mobility sessions to more fit your ability level. But let's not waste any time. We're going to get started. We're going to go right on to hands and knees. So we're going to start just like this, hands and knees, and you want your hands to be roughly underneath your shoulders and your hands to be shoulder width apart. You want your knees to be underneath your hips, not too wide. You don't want to be leaning too far forward. That's going to put a lot of stress on the hands. You don't want to be too far back. That's not really going to give you adequate work for the spine. So you want to be right in the middle. If you have trouble with the wrists in this position, you can always hold on to the sides. Sometimes that's more comfortable. You can try the knuckles, but that's a little bit less stable. A couple of other alternatives. You can either use a towel that you just kind of roll up into a ball and just put the thick part underneath the heel of your hand, and that will give a little less stress into the wrists. You don't want to be into the fingers. You want to be at the heel of the hand. Or if you have a dumbbell, you can just use the dumbbell and put pressure into the dumbbell instead of the wrists. Okay, so if you don't have any problems, then you can just get right at it. And so we'll find our nice position. Up and down, hands and knees. And we're just going to start by moving the head. So we're going to let the head hang down and just let gravity pull the head. Let the head be heavy all the way down. And then we're going to look up. We're just going to get a sense of, without trying, without working too hard, where is your gaze? What can you see easily without straining, without holding your breath? And let the head come down. And let the head come up. And for some of you, you'll have a lot of mobility, some less. That's okay. Just get a sense of where you are. Don't push. Don't struggle. Now, what I want you to notice is that as the head comes up, the chest comes up, the belly and ribs have a tendency to want to drop down. So I want you to allow that to happen. And then as you look down, the chest and ribs and belly tend to draw in or sink in as the chin comes down. So I just want you to make that nice connection between the head lifting up and the chest dropping down, and then opposite, the head dropping down and the chest lifting up. And let's do a few of those as we come up and down and see if we can just feel a connection between the head and the chest, or the head and the heart. When the head comes up, that heart drops down, is kind of prominent and exposed. And when the head drops down, that heart kind of sinks up into your chest as you go up and down, nice and easy. And feel just by doing that it creates a little bit of freedom and a little bit of ease as that move cascades. Doesn't just get locked up at the neck, but as that movement cascades down into the torso and we get more things moving, movement becomes easier. Okay, if your arms get tired, if you get sore at any time, just take a rest, relax, give them a few seconds to restore. And then we'll come back into that position. Now, we're going to forget about the head for a moment, and then we're going to think about the tail. We're going to think about your tail, and we're going to think if you were kind of tucking your tail between your legs, right? And then we're going to think about sticking your tailbone up and out to the ceiling. And then we tuck that tail between the legs, and then we stick that tailbone up and out to the ceiling gently and easily, just seeing how your body moves just with that tailbone going up and down and just freeing up the pelvis. This is a pelvic tilt. This would be a posterior pelvic tilt. This would be an anterior pelvic tilt if you want to use fancy expensive words. Otherwise, we're just tucking that tail under and sticking that tail up and out. And I want you to feel the back rounds and lifts to the ceiling and the belly draws in. And then the back arches and drops to the floor and the belly sags out. It's good to be able to move in both directions. Important to be able to move in both directions. Good. And relax. Take a second. Relax your wrists, relax your hands. Remember, if at any time you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling like you need a rest, do that, okay? Rule number 1, always be kind to yourself. So do what you need to do, proper self-care. Don't move at my pace, move at your own pace. That's the only way you're gonna start to feel results that you want. Okay, now we're gonna see how these two movements start to work harmoniously, how they work together. So you're gonna see that when your head comes down and the chest draws up, that the tail tucks under, that they all move together. And then you're going to find that when the head lifts up and that heart drops down, that tailbone sticks up and out, and they all move together. And so we're going to see, can we find that nice happy connection between the head and the pelvis? When we can get the head and the pelvis working in harmony, we're usually finding a nice, simple, easier, less strenuous way to get mobility through the entire spine, and that is so important for all functions and happy posture. So we'll do a few of these. Feel that you can look down, and you're almost looking into your belly button, and that tail tucks and looks towards your eyes, and then the opposite direction, the head looks up and away, and the tail looks up and away. So we're getting this nice arc. Our yoga friends call this the cat-cow or the cat-camel. It's a very popular kind of foundational exercise for spinal mobility. But really it comes down to how you're thinking about that movement and how you're getting things to coordinate together. Head up, tail out, heart down, back arch, and then head down, tail in, draw the belly in, kind of round, and relax. And take a moment, shake out the wrists, relax the arms if they're a little bit tired or sore from that movement. Good, we're gonna add a couple of more components in there to see if we can make it even smoother, even freer, even easier. Okay, so when you're ready, we're gonna come right back down to hands and knees. And now I want you to think about when the head drops down that you're actually gonna push the table away. You're gonna elongate your arms as though you're trying to push through the table. So the elbows are always straight, but as the head drops down, I want you to push, elongate, and feel how that's going to round your back in a different way, and make sure that you're allowing the pelvis the freedom to come around with, and feel, is there any extra little oomph that you can push? And then when we drop, you're going to feel that the elbows stay straight. We don't bend. The elbows stay straight, and we allow our arms to get short and to sink. So really working on that length of the arms. The head comes down, the tail comes under. We're lengthening those arms, which is going to give us an even bigger rounding of the back. And then we're shortening, we're letting the body fall through, the chest fall through, the shoulder blades fall together. They don't squeeze together, they just fall together in order to find that opposite position. Let's do a few of those, really appreciating for that ability to push through the arms, allow the head to fall, allow the tail to tuck, feel that nice roundness from the crown of your head all the way to the tip of your tail, and then feel how we can go the opposite direction, let everything fall through the arms, let that heart, chest, ribs, belly all fall to the floor, but not softening at the elbows. One more time, push away, eyes down, tail under, looking into the abdomen, elongating those arms, feeling the shoulder blades splay apart, spread apart from the top, and then falling down and under, allowing the chest to lift and the eyes to rise. Good, and relax. Good. Take a moment again to just relax out the arms. You're getting a little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of an arm workout in here today. I'm feeling it in through the shoulders. Wherever you feel it, that's fine. Give yourself the time to rest through. Good, that's perfect. We're still gonna add a few more components, and we're gonna connect with the breath now. And just take a moment and think, when you breathe out, do you think breathing out feels more like the head up or the head down movement? Does it feel more like a tail out or a tail in movement? So we'll experiment with that as we come back to hands and knees. So let's come back down to hands and knees. I want you to feel, we'll start with the head dropping, pushing the table away, spreading the shoulder blades apart, tucking the tail, and feel how this coincides with exhalation. This position helps us to compress the thoracic cavity where the lungs are and squeeze the air out of the balloons that are our lungs. And then when we go the other way, head up, heart falls, belly falls, tail comes out. This is more of an inflation position. And so we're going to try to coordinate the movement with the pace of the breath. So we're going to breathe out into those long arms. Breathe into the short arms, elbows are staying straight. Breathe out into the head drop and tail tuck and belly draw. Breathe into the head lift and the belly arch, back arch all the way through. Breathe out and round. Breathe in and arch. Breathe out and round. Breathe in and arch. Very nice. And relax. And I like once we add the breath, it just has that kind of additional component of relaxed, free, easy movement. And for me, I feel this little bit of tension in my breastbone, in the heart, really, that helps to open up when I add those last few components in. Okay, we're gonna, let's take a minute just to relax the arms. Let's do this. We're gonna come up high on the knees. Okay, this is just, I like to do this in between. It kind of intersperses things. We're going to put the hands right on your back pockets, right on the meaty part of your butt. And what you're going to do is you're going to, from here, stay tall. You're going to push with your hands a little bit, press the pelvis forward, lift the heart, lift the head all the way up into a little bit of a back bend. So you're resting into your hands, pushing the hips forward, and then we'll back off and relax. Just back up to whatever feels like neutral, normal to you. And we'll try that again. We're just going to push forward with the hips. Feel the breastbone lift. Feel the chest lift. Feel the chin. See how easily you can look up. Nice inhale, inflation position. Come back down. One more time. Hips forward, heart up to the sky, chin up, making sure you're staying comfortable, moving within your abilities, not pushing or striving to do anything different. Good. I like that as a little break in between when my arms start to get tired, so I'm not sitting doing nothing. It just helps to move the body. Again, free up the spine while we rest the arms. Okay, ready? We're going to do one final component to that cat-cow, which I like, and this one's going to incorporate the hip muscles. So we're going to come back onto hands and knees. Hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. All right. Now, as we do the component where we're lifting the head, you're going to keep your knee bent and lift your heel toward the ceiling. Okay? Let's just do a few of those just to get the feel without anything else. From here, we're just going to take the foot, keep the knee bent to about 90 degrees, and lift your heel toward the ceiling wherever you can get, and put it back down. We'll do the same leg a couple of times. And you might notice that as we start to lift, it kind of facilitates a little bit of that arch in the spine. And relax. Good. So now we're going to combine that with the part of the exercise that was the head lift. So let's start by dropping the head, breathing out, elongating the arms, tucking the tail. And then as we go into the other direction, we're going to drop the abdomen, let the chest lift, let the head lift, let the shoulders sink, and at the same time lift that heel so that it's like your heel and your head are striving up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it down. As we bring it down, we're going to round. You can bring that knee down to the table, or on the next one, if you lift up, we're going to lift heel and head. As you come down, you can bring that knee down and past the table, go towards your nose, almost like you wanted to bring your heel to your forehead, and then bring it back out in the other direction. If that's troubling or difficult, don't worry about it. You can just stop at the table with both knees, but if you can continue on. Feeling for all of those components working together. Breath out, eyes down, round, elongate the arms, let the knee come in. Breath in, heel up, abdomen drops, the arms get short. Lifting the head, nice breath in. 2 more. Knee to nose, and then heel and head to ceiling. Trying to discover all those sneaky little components that if you can engage them all in, they make the movement that much easier. Elongate the arms, shorten the arms, and come back. Whew. And relax. Okay, feeling those arms today. All right, we're gonna rest for a moment, allow the arms to relax, or allow the wrists to relax, and really just get a sense of all the different components that go into that one movement. And that if we can get them all working together, movement becomes easier, freer, less cumbersome. Let's come back down. Hands and knees, we're gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. So we'll just do a couple of test lifts, making sure we're keeping the knee bent and the heel rises up, and then come down. Just bent to 90 degrees. You don't want to pull it back into your butt. That'll make you cramp. So kind of a soft leg up to about 90 degrees up and down. And then we're going to include the head. So as the heel comes up, the head comes up, the chest and belly drop down. Nice big arch. And then as we come in, we let the head drop. We elongate the arms. We can stop that knee at the other knee just for the first one. And then we're going to lift up again. Let that chest drop. And then we're going to bring the knee and the nose in together. Elongate the arms, breathe out. Breathe in and open up. And breathe out and down. Breathe in and lift up. And out and down. Feel the arms elongate. Let's do 2 more. Chin up, eyes up, the heart drops down. The chest and belly drop down. And then we elongate those arms. We round the back, knee towards nose. Last time, up. And down, good. And just from here, we're gonna walk the knees back so they're a little bit further than they were, or the hands forward a little bit. From here, we're just gonna push your body away. Keep your hands planted where they are. Keep your arms straight. Push your body away into a heel sit, or what our yogi friends call the child's pose position, or this is kind of a variation, not exactly. And just let yourself rest here for a moment. You can let your head rest on the floor. And this just relax the wrists. And then we're going to come back up onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we're going to be the feet. The knees are a little bit behind the hips now, and the hands are a little bit in front of the shoulders. We're going to do that rounding where we tuck the tail under, let the head drop, and then we're going to let the pelvis fall in towards the floor. Okay, long arms, and we're just letting the pelvis fall towards the floor to get a nice back bend and open up the hips. Again, wherever you land, you may not look like me, you may look better than me, whatever it is fine. You're just doing what's best for you. From here, we're gonna push through the heel of the hands to come back up to hands and knees. You're gonna push the table away and find your way back down. Again, gentle, easy, that is what's important. Comfortable, not perfection. Just trying to move a little bit differently, just moving into positions that we haven't been in a while. We're gonna come back up to hands and knees. We're gonna start, this is important, we're gonna start by tucking that tail under. Keep that tail tucked as the pelvis drops. Some people get stuck right about here because they have trouble letting go of the hip flexors. Try to allow your pelvis to fall down towards the floor. Keep the arms long, don't shrug in the shoulders. Pushing the table away. Feel your chest lift, feel your head lift. Good, hold for a few seconds, whatever works for you. Keep the breath soft and easy. Don't hold, don't get stuck, right? Just be easy where you are. One more time, we're gonna use the hands to push the body away. Let yourself come back. Push away. Wherever you land is fine, even if it's not far, even if you feel like you're failing, you are not, you're doing it. Just the fact that you're doing it is success. Okay? It's not about where you are, it's this journey, it's this attempt. We're gonna come forward, tuck the tail, last one. We're gonna let that pelvis fall, be soft, relax your breath. And if you find you can't relax your breath, just focus on the exhale. Do what you can. Make it a little softer. Feel that breastbone and chest. Lift up. Feel you're pushing through your hands to lift your heart, and the head is following. And then back to hands and knees. And we'll take a moment just to relax those wrists and relax your arms. Okay, if you had to break this up into pieces, if you couldn't go at my pace, that is great, that's okay. Something to build to, opportunities to feel better. All we're gonna do now is just retest. We're gonna start on hands and knees. All I want you to think about is your head, let it hang down, and then lift your head and see where that gaze is. And it's always remarkable to me, just these little changes I started about here, and now without even thinking or trying, it's here. Good, and just take a look and see the changes that your body has made. Notice the connections that are coming intuitively into your body. That when you lift the head, before it was just the head and neck working, and now it's the head and chest and ribs and breath, all these things working in harmony so you can move more freely. And it happened automatically after a little bit of practice. So if you can continue to practice that, it becomes more and more intuitive to your body, and the freedom just starts to kind of emanate from you. And that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget to thank yourself for showing up, for taking the time, for doing the work to make you feel better, to do what's right for you. Not everyone does it, but you did it today, so congratulations to you. I'll be back with you next week with a whole new video teaching you how to move differently so you can feel better. And if you want to see my whole library of videos, you can just go to www.arthritishelp.info. Somewhere on the screen right here, you should find it, and you can get my whole library of stuff. Okay? Take care. I'll see you soon.